Again, good morning or afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking some time to attend our webinar. Today, we're going to be going over our Bold Build 2.1 module, which is a comprehensive solution for pre-construction and construction. So my name is Nick. I am the sales executive here at AlphaBold, and I'm joined by Tayeb, who is our VP of Consulting, and he's going to be taking us through the demo today. So Tayeb, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Tayeb. I'm the VP Consulting at AlphaBold. Like Nick said, I've been doing consulting for 15 plus years, been in the AEC space for around 7 plus years, so really excited to show you some of the new features that we have in Bold Build today.
Right, thank you, Tayeb. Today we will be going over the challenges that are seen across the AEC industry and then taking a look at how Bold Build can solve those challenges. After that, we will dive into what Bold Build is and go into a demo of it. Then we will open it up to some questions. Also, as we're moving along through the demo, please feel free to type in any questions you may have. I'll be monitoring them on the side, and Tayeb will stop periodically to address them. Then after those questions, please stick around as we do have some special offers at the end that you will want to take advantage of. So here are some of the big industry challenges according to surveys taken by Dodge Data and Analytics. Right off the bat, you'll see document management is a big area for improvement. 50% of contractors fail to capture and review data consistently, which leads to 35% of their time hunting down project information. Ultimately, this costs the industry over $175 billion. With Bold Build, all your information is in one place, which will reduce those numbers and make your work more efficient. Project tracking is the next common issue, showing that only 42% of project managers update schedules daily or weekly, and of that 42%, only 20% update their schedules within 1 to 2 days of becoming aware of a change. Without real-time notifications and data, projects can easily become severely delayed with different teams being stalled at various phases. This adds more and more costs and time to the project, reducing margins. We've created Bold Build to increase the visibility of your project status and making the day-to-day updates easy. Managing RFI is a huge, costly challenge as well, and Bold Build allows you to collaborate and track the requests and responses all in one place. Moving over to the change orders, only 36% of change orders are collected and documented. Without real-time tracking of change orders, it is easy to lose track of your budgets versus actuals. Ultimately, this can lead to some major issues procuring equipment and services. As you'll see, Bold Build allows you to easily track the changes over against the original budgets and make the necessary adjustments to keep your project on track. As for labor productivity, 72% of contractors report medium or high impact on productivity of workers due to double entry of data. Bold Build keeps all the data in one place and, as Tayeb will show you, tracks the data with the project from start to finish. No chances for double entry, therefore eliminating chances for errors. The surveys found that the #1 reason for reduced productivity is a lack of communication and collaboration between project teams. This is something Bold Build can easily step in and solve as it integrates with all departments to one source. All right, so all this data is coming from a survey done by Dodge Data and Analytics, and what they found overall is that contractors lack a single place to aggregate their information and knowledge. Because of this disconnect, contractors weren't able to use their data they had in a meaningful way. On the slide here are the 7 KPIs that they found have give you a good idea of how your company is tracking when it came to completing projects. And as Tayeb goes through the demo, you'll see how Bold Build addresses and gives visibility to all of these KPIs. This is where I'm going to hand it off to Tayeb. He's going to take you through the rest of this demo. And like I said, if you do have any questions, feel free to type them in as I will be monitoring those.
Thank you so much, Nick. Guys, I'm going to walk you through the rest of the deck here as well as the latest and greatest in Bold Build. I'll try to skim through the deck fairly quickly today because we have a lot of new features to cover, which I'm super excited about. So if I'm going too fast on the deck, it's only because of the limited time we have, but we will definitely be handing it out after this so that you have the slide deck available to you. So we're going to start with the pain points. So as we heard from Nick that we're going to talk about Bold Build, which has multiple apps as part of the whole suite. And then we focus on sales, the pre-construction, the construction, and within each we have different apps. So we're going to start with the pain points that our apps focus on resolving. So starting from the sales, you can see that we are living in this age of distraction where distraction is reducing productivity of our sales team, and it kind of has an impact of around 14% based on this study. The sales cycle for construction is huge. It can take from 4 to 9 months. And there are so many external and internal players involved that it's very important to have an organized, structured sales process. And with lack of automation in construction and organization lacking this sales process in place, it leads to a lot of time wastage that Nick talked about. So we have our system that kind of tries to address this throughout the sales process. Here is a chart that shows non-optimal tasks. You can see that 16.2% of the time is wasted in conflict resolution. First of all, these conflicts are generated based on the fact that there is inconsistent information that is shared between different teams because there's no real-time integrated one system for construction that is out there. And that's something that Bold Build tries to fix by bringing in all these systems into one place so you have one single source of truth. Then you see that dealing with mistakes and rework is almost 15.2%. I know that a lot of construction companies track rework, but Bold Build focuses on eliminating rework. So you don't have to go out there again and do the work again. And that's obviously done based on the fact that we have accurate, up-to-date information, and we can stay on top of communication internally as well as with customers. And I'll talk and show most of that in the demo. Then looking for project information, 14% of the time is wasted in that because, again, we have silos in construction as well as the AEC and mechanical industries in general. So our system focuses on eliminating this as well. So just in case you were not sure where the time is being wasted, you can see that you're spending 35% of the time on non-optimal activities, and you also see the breakdown by hours per week for that, and only 65% is spent on optimal activities. Here is the breakdown by cost per role as well. So you can see that we have tried to associate an annual cost impact by different roles. I'm sure that a lot of the people from the construction industry on the webinar are familiar with these, but this is also true for people who are joining in and they have a mechanical or other AEC industries that they work in, that there's a lot of inefficiency in terms of the time that is being wasted, and this is how it kind of corresponds to the dollar amounts annually speaking. So now going into the benefits aspect of it as to how Bold Build addresses these, especially on the sales side of things. So on Bold Build, the idea is that you focus on what is most important. So it allows you to prioritize your task. It allows you to streamline your sales workflows and the process. And it gives you the capability to start from what you need. Whatever I'm going to show you today, it's device agnostic. And I'll show you some process flows, which would look like multiple stages. But I want you to know that all of these can be changed. And as we onboard our customers, we modify them. However, the idea is to showcase to you how Bold Build will help you stay on top of the tasks that you need to do from the sales, pre-construction, and construction standpoint. I already covered that. It's a device agnostic platform, so you can use it on your mobile phones, you can use it on your tablets, you can use it while you are on the field, and obviously you can use it on your laptops and desktops when you're in the office. And we have a bunch of automation as well. It can automatically generate PDFs that you can get signatures from on field from your contractors as well as your field folks. It can send out emails, and we'll cover a lot of that through collaboration in the demo as well. BoldBuild not only just has the sales piece, it has a lot of other apps as well. We'll be covering in the demo at least just the sales, pre-construction, and construction. But we also have a field app that allows you to submit your dailies or your timesheets. So what happens is that your foremen who are on site, they would be creating a daily, putting in the time for all the journeymen and the apprentice that are working in their team on that site, on that project, and they'll be submitting that. And we have a bunch of features where we can automatically calculate the overtime, double time, meal penalties if there are any breaks. We have the rules configured in there by state, so it can tell you that if, for example, you're working on iron work as an iron worker, so for the iron worker trade, you cannot have, you've got to have a certain ratio between journeyman hours and the apprentice hours. So our system automatically gives you kind of soft alerts to tell you that you're off or in line with the state standards for some of those things. And the daily app for timesheet submission also have the approval process, which is kind of covered in here. So foremen, they submit it, it goes to the field admin, it goes for additional reviews, and then we calculate the overtime and double time and integrate it with the accounting system. I'm going to skip through this. So if you look at BoldBuild 2.1 overall, here are the benefits that we are most proud of and we feel that your organization can gain from this system. We feel that you can save up to 2.5 million per year by saving time on tasks because it is going to make you more efficient. You can eliminate 48% of your rework. It gives you executive level insights. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And then it's one integrated system, which is the biggest problem with construction, that many systems that are out there, they're disparate systems and they don't connect with each other. So there is a lot of double entry because of that. But I'll show you how BoldBuild is one connected system and it's very easy to integrate with other applications. Here are all the modules that we have. So we have an analytics app that gives you dashboards, and the dashboards go across all of the other apps, and I'll show that in the demo. Then we have the sales app that I'll be covering in the demo. We have the field operations app that you saw, which allows you to submit your dailies. We are not going to cover this in the demo today, but we have a pre-recorded webinar for this. So if you're interested in the field app as well, you can reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to send that over to you. We will be covering aspects of project management. We won't be covering all of that, but we will be focusing mostly on the pre-construction and then the creation of the contract and the project and a little bit about the project management. And we will not be covering accounting, but the way BoldBuild 2.1 handles accounting is that we integrate with most of the accounting as well as ERP systems out there. So for example, we integrate with Foundation, we integrate with QuickBooks, we integrate with Dynamics GP, we can integrate with Dynamics F&O, we can integrate with SAP, JD Edwards. So whichever system you have, we have a team that has more than 15 plus years of experience integrating these line of business applications. So we just integrate with those applications. So we are not making and redoing the work that is already being done by your accounting or ERP systems. So with that, let me share with you what BoldBuild looks like before I get into the demo. So these are the 5 segments that I already covered. I'm going to skip that. And these are the functional areas that our solution addresses. So on the sales, it's mainly the opportunity management. On the project management, it's the job and the project management. Then on the field service, it's a mobile offline, but submitting the dailies. And then we have vendor, equipment, and material management that I'll be covering in a little bit of detail, not a lot. And then as I shared with you, there is an analytics and reporting layer that is able to go across all of these modules. And then we have integration with any accounting system. So with that, I'm going to transition to the demo. So let me share my web browser. Any questions so far?
Doesn't look like, actually, Yes. You mentioned there's different apps and stuff. If you get the subscription for one app, does it have to come with all the apps?
So no. So you can get a subscription per app. So we have an additive licensing model where what happens is that you can start from the sales app, and then if you are onboarded onto that, then you can add on to that the project management app, and then you can add on to that the field admin app. Obviously, you can purchase the whole suite as one as well, but you can also start one by one.
Perfect. That was it.
All right, awesome. So if you can see my screen, what I've done is I have logged into the Bold Build solution. I will be using this U18 instance for this demonstration. And if I show you, these are the apps that we have as part of this. So you see the Bold Build Sales app, the Bold Build Project Management app, the Foreman app, and the Field Admin app. So right now I'm in the Sales app. And the first thing I want to start with is dashboards. And what I'll do is I'll start with the sales dashboard. So I'll go and start from the sales forecasting dashboard. So as I go in here, you can see, and this, like I was sharing with you, this goes across all the apps, which means that I'll have dashboard for sales, but I'll also have dashboards for anything that's in pre-construction. I'll also have dashboards on my project-related information. So this gives you an executive as well as managerial oversight into how many projects are going on, how many sites you're working on. You can look at it from the sales standpoint, from the execution standpoint, whatever you are interested in reviewing. So in here, this is my sales forecasting dashboard. You can see that it is forecasting out. So I can come in here. This is not forecasting out. So if I go to my forecasted sales analytics, this is forecasting out. So I am right now in March, and it is looking at March, April, May, and I can see that I have different services. Obviously, this is a demo instance, so I'm setting up multiple services, but as the onboard customer, some of them are just interested in, say, structural, and some of them are just interested in electrical, and some of them are just interested in mechanical. So we just configure the system, and the service that they are focused on is what we cover. But you see in here that I can filter on any of these services if you have multiple services that your organization offers. So for example, if you do construction as well as you do renewable, you'll have two services show up here, and then you can see forecast for each one of them. So this is huge because it is kind of forecasting out based on your opportunities. And if I click on any of them, it just focuses on that. So you can see here it's telling me that in July you have an opportunity of around 138K. So I can then plan accordingly. I can say, okay, I need to probably hire more people because in this industry we focus a lot on daily wage workers. So obviously we can then figure that out. We can see what service this 130K is associated with. I can go in here and I can see that information. And I can also see who is the sales rep who and the estimation team who's working on that. Then for the existing projects I have, I can look at them from the site and location perspective. So for example, if I click on California, it is showing me, okay, I have 84 sites within California, and showing me the numbers of those sites. And I can obviously zoom into this as well, and then it is going to show me all those sites that I have on the map. And then the last but not least is I have a very detailed breakdown of all the sales numbers. So you can see here it's showing me by month. It is also showing me the start date, the duration, and I have a link here, so I can just click on this link and then open up this opportunity within my system. So this is on the sales side. I also have some lead volume dashboards that tells me how my leads are coming in from the sales standpoint. So you can see here that it is telling me my conversion rate by user. It's telling me my lead call quantity by user, how many leads am I getting per month as well. This is more on the lead side of things, but the third one that I want to show you is the project management dashboard, which is obviously huge for the project managers who are probably on the call right now, or the superintendents. But you can see in here that it is showing me my complete breakdown, and it has multiple charts. So all of these, which I'm going to go through very, very quickly here. But it is showing me my projects. When a job here is used interchangeably with project and then phase with site. So when it says hours by job, it is showing me Disney Theme Park San Diego. And within Disney Theme Park San Diego, it is telling me how many hours are against the change order versus the hours that I have against the actual company workers who are working out there. Then it is showing me for the Harvard project that I have, Malibu Drive project that I have, and so on and so forth. And here it shows me all the details. These are all the dailies that are coming in by cost code, by trade, which is huge for construction because having the ability to be able to have this kind of a granular breakdown can add a lot of value. I can then go further down. I can look at the same thing by phase. I can look at it by trade. I can look at it by employee. So now it's showing me across all the projects, but I can absolutely go in here and I can say I'm only interested in, for example, this Disneyland project. So I just select that and then it will only show me for the Disneyland project. Then I can just look at everything for just this project. So you can see the focus here is on electricians and laborers. So I'm going to just skip this and then go to the labor hours analytics, Apprentice versus Journeyman hours. So here again, it is telling me how much time I'm getting from the apprentice hours. So my carpenter is an apprentice and I have an electrician who is a journeyman. I can remove, and then again, this is for the Disneyland projects. I can remove this. And once I do that, then it kind of brings me back to the holistic view across all of the projects that I have. And I know I'm going fast because, again, there's a lot to cover, but we're more than happy to have subsequent conversations and show you each of these in more detail. Again, here now I'm looking at subcontractors. So you might have multiple subcontractors in your system. So it's telling me the hours against the subcontractor hours and the tasks that they're performing. And again, everything I'm showing you, you can drill down from there. So for example, if I look at the CEO building systems, I click on, okay, what are the hours that they're putting in? It just shows me exactly the hours that are coming in from them. So that it says 255, so you can see 55 and 200 is the breakup of that. Well, drilling has 55 hours, underground electrician work has 200 hours, and it tells me exactly which projects the hours have been allocated against. So it gives you like all of this information on your fingertips, and it is also accessible. Everything I'm showing you, these charts and dashboards are accessible to you within your cell phone. So then I'm looking at and this is huge, this is where the integration that I was telling you about comes in. As you onboard different vendors and for your subcontractors, you have POs that are coming in, and your POs would mostly be set up in your ERP or accounting system. And your actual real time being submitted by your workers is coming into our system. So what we do is we integrate the two. So you could look at the PO amounts versus the actual amounts. So here it is, for example, showing you the PO quantity. So you can see that, and the received quantity. And we are tracking the received quantity in our app. Then it is also showing you your amounts by job, your amounts by phase, your amounts by vendor, your amounts by material here. So you can look at all of this information in the system, and you can also look at by quantities by phases, quantity by vendor, quantity by material, and again you can filter on the job that you would like to focus on. And last but not least, it also allows you to do some equipment tracking. So if you have multiple equipments that need to be shipped, like forklifts and dump trucks, through our app you can track it, and through this dashboard it allows you to see where your equipment is sitting, and it also does a paging report for you where it shows you all of that information in one place. So with that, I'm going to transition out into the sales module, and I'm going to start from the lead section. So the sales piece starts where you see there's Joe Smith, who's just the contact that I have, and the project, dummy project that we would execute as part of this webinar would be Disneyland site setup in San Diego. So we are going to manufacture maybe a parking lot for the Disneyland in San Diego. So I'm going to open this up. And obviously here you see a little bit of navigation. I won't cover that. But this is my lead. It has come in. And Joe Smith with VP Construction for the Walt Disney Company has said that we would like to use your organization for the construction of the parking lot for the Disneyland site in San Diego. Now, and we are based in San Diego, so that's why I chose San Diego. I can capture all of this detail here as a sales rep or a business development manager. And what it does is that it allows you to gather all the information related to the documents right here. For example, if they send me any information about the documents, I can start uploading those documents within my system in one place. I don't have to go and have a file server that has my documents. So for example, let's say if I go in and I upload this document here, let's say this is kind of the high-level information that they have shared with me, I can just upload it in here. So anybody who logs in, they can just click on these documents and they will be able to see the documents that have been added as part of this lead. And so everything is in one place. You don't have to go to the file server and look at the documents there and come back to the sales system and see, okay, what's going on in this system. Then what it also does is, and I'm sure a lot of you are working remotely. If you're not, you should be. And taking care of yourself, but there is an integration with Microsoft Teams that we have as part of this. So you can quickly set up an integration with Team and you can set up a new team. I'm going to just go in and do that. I'll say this is Disneyland project. And I'm going to just select a channel. And it is going to just allow me to add as many members within my organization who are working on this. And then it just gives me a Teams view into this. So all of the collaboration that I need to do to be able to work on this lead and to be able to close that, now I can just do it from within here or through my Teams. So for example, if I show you my Teams window here, I'll have to share this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let me see. I want to share with you the screen. Perfect. So I hope you can see my screen, but in here, this is the new team that has been set up. You can see it has the name of the project, which is Disneyland. And I can click on Joe Smith here, which is the lead that I'm working on, and it will open up that in context of this lead. And any files that are being shared, any information that is being shared is available right in here. So I can just see all this information right in one place. So you see it's opening it up. I'll be able to see the details of this lead and everything in one place. So now I'm in my Teams. I can start sharing content. I can go into the file section here. I can start uploading files. And everything I do with everybody who is a member working with me on the sales side is all in one place. And we can start collaborating on that. So with that, I'm going to transition back to my demo. Perfect. So I showed you this one. Then what happens obviously is that you can track all activities in here. So I have a timeline and I can go in and I can create an email. I can do a phone call. Whatever I'm doing is here. But let's say as a sales rep, I say, okay, I'm good. I'm going to qualify this. So I hit this qualify button. And as I do that, it is going to ask me, okay, you already have this company and the contact in the system. I say, perfect. Click OK, and now it has transitioned me from this lead to the opportunity phase. And just transition this to 1 second. I'm going to just transition and change the flow. So this here now is where the heavy lifting of our sales module comes into play. So you have qualified this, it comes in here, and the first few things that it asks you is, okay, what is the service type? Because obviously, like I mentioned, it's a platform that allows you to do multiple services, but I'm going to say this is just a structural kind of an opportunity. So I put in the structural type for this. And one provision that our system has is because there's a lot of subcontracting that goes on in construction, so you could have an end user that is different from the bidding too. But for the sake of this demo, I'm going to say it's the same company. And this is just the main opportunity. So with that, you see that as a sales rep, I've brought it up here. And this is where a lot more collaboration happens. So for example, if I'm in the qualify stage and I say, okay, it's time to go to the develop stage. The idea of the develop stage is that I want my estimators to start working on generating the estimates. So as soon as I transition to the develop stage, my estimation team will receive an email that will tell them a new opportunity has come in. The information will all be available to them in the document section. So although I uploaded it on the lead level, this will also be available to me on the opportunity level. They can come and they can review it And now they can start working on generating the estimates, which I'm going to cover in a second. But just because of the fact that I added to this the structural type, it automatically brings in inclusions and exclusions for this structural type of service. So you can see I have my inclusion and exclusions here. If I have a project-specific change in these inclusions and exclusions, I can just make that in here. So it's still bringing in my base template, but it's still allowing me the provision to be able to make any changes. What it also do is it also brings in the scope of work, and both of these things, the inclusion and exclusion and the scope of work, it is tied to the service that I'm offering as part of this estimate or this project that I will be working on. Now I'm going to transition from the role standpoint. I won't log out and log in because it take a lot of time if I keep on logging out and in for different roles that our platform incorporates. But I'm going to show you, so as an estimator, when I come in, obviously I need to start working on the estimates. So I have here an estimate that I'll be uploading to this. Let me show you the Excel document that I have. So you can see this Excel, you can see that it's an estimation sheet, and all of you probably have your own estimation sheets that you love. So the powerful aspect of our platform is that it allows us to import any estimate sheet that you have. So for example, you see here our estimator has gone in, they have estimated the labor, material, and the subcontractor hours, and they have some equipments and materials and temporary utilities. And then we have this bid upload sheet. So they kind of prepare all of this. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of a magic on how this gets added to our platform. So what happens is I come in here as an estimator. I've created my estimate. I go into the bid section. As I go into the bid section, I say, okay, I want to create a new bid. And I will go in here. I will select my site for this. I haven't set up a site, so first let me go in there and do that. So I go in here, and I'm just going to consider that I have only one site for this. So just give me 1 second here. Let's see if I have so I have a San Diego Disneyland parking site 1 that I'm going to just add in here, and I'm going to say you can have multiple sites, as many as you want. If you have a lot of sites, you can even use the upload sites feature that we have, where you can just upload an Excel document that has all the addresses on all the sites that you have in the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now create a bid for this just one site. Now when I go in here, it just shows me that one site that is specific to this project. And this is where a lot of heavy lifting happens. What I'm doing right now is, and you can't see it, but I clicked on the browse button and I'm selecting the same Excel I showed you here, and it's kind of automatically then taking in this information, and it will start processing that information, and based on that it kind of brings in the revenue, the cost, the margins. But what it also does is that if I go to this bid details section and I refresh my screen here, it gives me total breakdown of all of the effort. So you know if you worked with different third-party estimation tools, or even if you're using Excel, this is a huge pain on how you go from estimation and collaboration on that estimation and then generating a proposal. So what we have done is we've just built a platform that allows you to ingest that information, and I have all of that breakdown that I had in Excel over here. So I can see the total labor hours, total material hours, total subcontractor hours, equipment, others. But I also have all the cost codes and the breakdown and quantities, unit of measures, and the subscriptions, as well as the costing of that. So I have my complete breakdown on estimation. I also have some of the add-ons. I won't cover this in a lot of detail, but you can see that soil proposal is included in the proposal. Others are not. So if you have some add-on services that you offer, you can easily go in and you can change them from yes or no based on whether you want them to be converted or part of your proposal or not. But I'm going to leave them as no for now. And then I have my equipments in here. So it's showing me my dump truck, crane, loader. I have my materials in here. I also have my temporary utilities and controls in here. So now as an estimator, I look at it, I go back to my opportunity. You see that the estimated revenue of 210K is showing up in here. And I say, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go in and I'm going to update this and say, I have completed my estimation. And I will say I completed it today, and Just say, okay, this is a new facility type, and I'll move it to the next stage. Now what happens is that the BDM receives an email that the estimation has been completed. If we need some sort of an approval, our platform has the approval workflow, so it can generate an email that it's more than 200K, so it needs to go to a certain project manager so that they could come in and approve it before a proposal could be generated and sent out. Whatever you may have it, you can kind of provision our platform to be able to do that. But once the approvals are there, what this BDM or the sales rep is going to do is they're going to generate a proposal and send it to the customer. So I click on this generate proposal, and based on that, what happens is that it automatically again has a template in there. It takes the estimates that I have uploaded, and based on those estimates, it generates the Word document and it attaches it to the notes section. So you can see that it's telling me on the background that the proposal will be generated and will be attached to the notes. So just give it a second here for it to complete. So it tells me now that check generated proposals from the notes section. I will refresh this and then go to the notes section. It's just this timeline. So as I come in here, you see it has generated the proposal for the Walt Disney Company, which was the company for this. I'm going to click on this because I really want to show it to you. So if I open this and share my screen for this, give me 1 second. Hope you can see it now. So you can see in here that this is the proposal that has been generated, and it can have any formatting that you want. Obviously, this is for our demonstration, but it has all these details in here. It has brought in all the details. So you see it has brought in here the revenue that I had. It has brought in my soil disposal and other build alternatives. The only reason why it brought just one is because if you remember, only one of the add-ons was selected to be included in the proposal. And then it kind of also brought in my scope of work. It has brought in my inclusions and my exclusions. And if I made any changes in there, it will bring those in as well. And what our platform can also do is can convert this into a PDF and just send it out to the customer. So my proposal has been generated. I will just, I'm ready to send it out to the customer. So I come back to my system, obviously because we have a stellar team and everybody always accepts our proposals. So I'll say it has been sent. I'll just pick up somebody here 1 second. And we are going to obviously go the happy route of saying amount approval was not needed, proceed to the close stage. So we are kind of ready to go from here, and we have essentially won the bid. So this is where the transition happens between our sales module, and we are going to go into the pre-construction phase. Now, a lot of people here from construction know that there's so many different type of approvals that you get on the bid. You could get a limited notice to proceed, kind of an approval. You can also get an approval to just generate the contract on one site and wait for the other 10 sites that we have. So you can have multiple kind of options there, but our platform kind of allows you to handle all of those cases. And obviously, I don't have time to show you all of those cases, but we're more than happy to do a more detailed deep dive with you for you to be able to access those details and see how it does it. But if I had 10 bids, I could have still closed 2 bids as awarded, generated a LNTP contract, and then converted it into an actual contract when the contract eventually got signed. If I have 1 bid, I can just go ahead and say, okay, this bid has been awarded. And as I do that, what it does is that it is automatically going to close this opportunity, and it is going to transition me from this phase into the pre-construction phase. And I'm going to transition from here to the pre-construction and show you the aspects of that. While this is happening, Nick, do you have any additional questions for me?
It does not look like there's any questions at this time.
Awesome. Sounds good. So then I am here. You see that this bid has been awarded. And I'm going to refresh this. You see that the estimated revenue is gone, and if I go into the more opportunities, I have a 1 opportunity in here. And if I go back to my summary, what it has done is that it has, just refresh this again, it will generate the pre-construction entity for me, which it has done now, which is for this Disneyland site, San Diego. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just transition from here into my project management. I'm going to go into the project management site. So what I've done is I went in here and I said, okay, project management. And here I see my pre-construction. So if I open this up in pre-construction, what you will see again is that it has brought in all the details, but now my process flow has changed. I'm in the pre-construction phase where I can go into negotiation, and once I'm done with all the negotiations, I can do the contract, I can go into contract execution, and I can work on the procurement and project construction module. It has a lot of more additional detail that you can set here. So for example, you can set your text, you can set prevailing wages, you can set your build square footage information, you can put in your project class information in here. So I can set this is commercial, type, labor and material, whatever I want, I can have those details kind of put in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to move it to the next stage in pre-construction to negotiation. And my estimation is here. So as you know, in construction, although I said that the bid has been awarded, but I might still go through multiple changes to this bid. And I can still do the whole thing again. Like if I upload the same estimate again with some changes based on my negotiation with them, it automatically reflects those changes in here as well. So for example, if I do, if I quickly do this, if I go in and I say for the same site, I have made some changes and I have uploaded this other one, then what it does, it kind of automatically takes care of all those details for me. So for now, obviously the number is the same, but if I go back to my pre-construction and in the estimation, you will see that I'll have two bids in here, and it just closed the other one as internal revise, and now I have the other one, I can generate the proposal again. So the idea is that I can go in a cycle, and you know that there's so much back and forth in this phase with the prospect or the customer, and there could be so many different scenarios, but our platform allows you to cover all of those. Then in this negotiation stage, I can go in and I can look into my limited insurance and bonds. I can look at my proposed subcontractors. I can have a list of all of them. I can manage all of these things in here. But one of the, 1 second, I need to put in the project number here, and I'll show you. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have a project plan in the pre-construction phase that is linked to this project. So I want to be able to see that within this. So I just instantiate this integration with Rike, and I'll show that to you in a second. But one other thing that you can do is as I come to this contract creation stage, I can start working on my generation of the contract. But before I do that, I can also come in and I can start putting in who is my VP of operations here. I can start putting in all these people. Jim Carter is my foreman. I want, what is my project manager? I have a superintendent here. So let's say Anna is my, I can start putting together a team that I would like working on these projects that I have. So I can just put together that team where I have my internal team. I can also put in activities that I'll need performed and so on and so forth. And once I feel that I'm ready, and when I talk about the activities, obviously if I show you my Gantt chart, I have a list of all the activities that need to be performed in this pre-construction phase. So you see that this is huge value add in terms of having all the activities in a Gantt chart. You can see, you can stay on top of these activities. You can even see the details of them. So for example, if I go in here, I can click on open this task for pre-construction application support, and then I can mark the percentage completion. So I can say, okay, this one is 248 hours, but for the sake of this demonstration, this is 100% complete. So I save this, mark complete, and then as I refresh it, it is going to change the color of that. I can also move things around here. I can just like change the schedule on the fly. So our platform allows you to do all of this project management right through this Gantt chart over here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just create a contract. So I come in here, and like you saw, I had just one division, one side, and I'm going to say create a project and create a contract. So as I click on this, it's going to work at the back end to generate the contract for me as well as the project for me. And as soon as it creates the contract in the project, what it is doing in the back end is that it is taking all of my estimates that I showed you on the estimation process, and it is going to use those to generate the budget for me on the contract level. And I'll be able to make modifications to that budget both on the contract level as well as on the project level. So you see I have the contract here, I have the project here, and I have the site in here. So I can go from here on to my contract. So if I click on that, it takes me from my pre-construction into my contract stage. I'm going to just call it Disney site Diego. I'll use the same name for my project as well. So I go in here, I save this, and it's on purpose that we don't name this contract and the project because many customers are very particular about what they want the name of the contract or the project to be. So we just leave it so that they can just name it themselves. But now that I'm in the contract stage, you can see if I click on the budget, I have my all of my budget automatically created. So I have original customer price, revised, which is the same because I haven't done any change orders. And then I have original budget and I have the revised budget. So I have the budget as well as the customer price that I offered them. And what I also have is if I start going on to the project here, I have complete details. And again, I have a process flow on the top to be able to start working on this project. Now, I'm not showing you the field admin app that we have, but what happens is as soon as I create a project here, by the way, project also has the budget, which is project specific. My field folks, they can start going on site and they can start working on this project from there. And I have the Gantt chart, the same capability that I showed you for pre-construction here as well, where I can have a separate template, which is more on the project execution that I can use here as well. If my dailies come in, all of my dailies will show up in the daily section. I can see all of my time entries. I can see my service types in here. If I want, I can add more. And let's say if I start working on it, on this project, and now I want to have a change order. So the way we handle that is, let's say if I go back to the contract and I go look at the budget and I say, okay, my other labor has $5,079, which is the original price that is quoted, and my budget was $3,762. I want to create a change order and I want to add $2,000 to it. So I go in here, I'll click on this new change order. So I'll say date labor change order. So I go in and I can give it any number. CO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I say it is right now. Yes. I can save it, and when I go into the details section now, I can add in, save and continue. I can add in the site against which I have this change order first of all. So I have only one for this, so it's easy. And then I go in from here to, let's say, this cost code, and I will use the cost code, which was 1.8 other labor. And I said, okay, I want to add to the labor cost $2,000 because that's my change. So as soon as I do that, what happens at the back end is that it is going to reflect this change order. Obviously, the change order might have to go through an approval process, so a system can incorporate that in. And when I go save and close this, and I go back to my change order and my site, I will be able to see all of this reflected in the contract. So if I go back in here and show you the budget piece, so you see it has gone from 3,000 to 5,200. This one. So this is the original 3,762. And now you can see that the revised is 5,762. So it has added that 2,000. You can also see that the original customer price was 5,000 and now the revised one is here. And we also allow you to be able to track all of the time that you're putting in against this within your dailies as well, so that you have a view of that and you could see what's going on in there. One other thing that I want to show from the collaboration standpoint is the integration with Office 365 groups. Not sure if you are using that, but this is huge because it's just one centric place for you to be able to do a lot of things. So for example, I've already created a group for this project. I'm going to just go ahead and find that. So this is the Journeyman site group, and I'm going to say connect with that. And by doing that, it automatically brings in all the team members. It creates a mailbox for me. So any emails I send related to this project will be in one place. So I showed you that I added Mahmoud as my project manager. So he's already showing up over there. I have my one notebook. I don't know if you guys are using it. If not, I highly recommend that. You have your calendar that you can open up. You can start having discussions with the team. This is a huge platform to have effective collaboration and document management in one place for you to be able to be effectively manage your projects. And then if I go back from here to the projects, so, and then again, I can click on the documents and I have again all of my documents in one place. If I add documents on Microsoft Teams, they will also show up in here for me. And last thing that I want to show is, if I go back in here, look at my San Diego. And this is my project that I just created. If I just look at this project, you can also see that I can do whatever I was showing you on the budget and the change order on the contract. I can also do it on the project. Why do we have that? We have it because it could be that you want to have one contract, but against that single contract, you want to have multiple projects that you want to execute. And if you want to execute multiple projects against the same contract, the system allows you to manage that as well. And in that case, you might have different change orders that you're doing with different projects. And in each case, there is collaboration that you see on the top. There is integration with Rike or Microsoft Project that we can do for you. You can track everything, starting from the equipment, your subcontractor hours, your dailies on the project level as well. Obviously, that is more on the project execution side of things. That's not something I'm going to cover today, but this is what I wanted to cover, and I'm going to hand it over to Nick again to wrap up the webinar. So just give me 1 second here. All right, so, can you see my screen? Can you see the slide deck?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Ted, for all that. And I hope everyone here found something informative from the whole thing. And thank you again for attending. Most of the webinar is focused on the sales and pre-construction. We did touch on just the construction phase briefly, but if you would like to dive a little bit deeper into Bold Build, we are offering a free 2-week trial to those who have attended, and you can also get a free assessment where we'll sit down with you. Well, right now, we'll call you and determine how Bold Build can best benefit your business. And while we do that, we can take a look at your accounting system and give you an idea of how Bold Build can integrate with it. So that way it brings everything in your company into one place, making your lives easier and your business more successful. And then, yeah, if you guys are interested, please feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, I'll be reaching out to each of you individually. And
so Nick, are there any other questions? Because we have
thank you for reminding me. I didn't even check. Let's get over to the questions. All right. Let's see. And it looks like someone's asking about the onboarding, if they are ready to go with this. What's the process for that?
Okay, so like Nick shared, so we do have an assessment, pre-assessment where we can jump on a call and try to understand your processes and see how they can be mapped onto Bold Build. And the first thing is to just understand which app you want to get onboarded with. If you're looking for the 3 apps, the sales, which includes the pre-construction module, the project management, which includes the construction, and the field admin apps, then obviously we'll have to figure out what kind of functionality you need. But generally speaking, starting from our first conversation, it can probably take up to around 20 to 30 days to onboard you if we are onboarding you on all 3 apps that we have.
Okay. And just for everyone out there, I know things may be slowing down right now because of all the coronavirus stuff, but this may be the actual opportune time to look into this demo and get the assessment so that way we can really dive deep into what you guys are doing and not really interfere with your day-to-day activities. So keep that in mind. We do have another question, and it was, does this integrate with Microsoft Project?
Absolutely. So it integrates with Write, which is a project management tool that is being used by a lot of managers in the AEC space, and it also integrates with Microsoft Project.
Awesome. And then there is a question for the estimation side of things. You showed a Excel estimation or Excel-based estimation thing. Is there does it integrate with other estimation tools?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I showed you was the fact that I just showed you the ability to upload an existing Excel. Now, based on our experience working with different customers, some of them, they're just married to this Excel. However, our first preference is to work with them and see if we can just incorporate the estimation process within BuildFitters. We have done that with one of our customers and they like it. So it's definitely possible. If you don't want to do that and you have, say, some other estimation tool that you're using, know that BuildFitters is REST enabled, which means that it's very easy to integrate BuildFitters with any of those applications. And we have, like I shared before, a lot of integration experience for BuildFitters. I'm pretty sure if you're using an existing estimation tool, you should be able to pull in those estimates from that tool and incorporate those into BuildFitters.
Great. And then one more question here was on the contract side of things, does BuildFitters integrate with Docusign?
So yes, 100% it does. And in fact, probably in our next webinar, we're going to show you that piece as well, but we have a very robust integration that we can have with Docusign. You can send these proposals directly from BuildFitters through Docusign, and once they get signed, you will get notifications. And you will see that even we can track the signature aspect. So as soon as the document gets signed, rather than me clicking on the button and saying award this bid, as soon as the document gets signed through Docusign, we can automatically track that signature event and convert that bid to awarded and generate a pre-construction phase for you. So yeah, that's something that is done. Probably will be covered in subsequent webinars.
Awesome. That's great. That was all the questions that we had.
All right. Thank you so much, Nick. I would just like to say one thing. I just wish that all of you are staying safe and maintaining social distancing.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, thank you guys for showing up. We'll be reaching out to you, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And yes, please stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you.